What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today it's going to be a little bit of a different video. Now, I've been working on a lot of gun guides, and I still have some that I'm working on obviously, and the next one should be the 1911 pistol. I'm still doing a lot of testing for that, and obviously the Akimbo perk just came out recently, so I still have to play with that a lot and get some testing for that done. So it'll be a little bit longer than I'd hope, but I will get it out to you eventually, and of course other guides will be coming as well. I'm not stopping that at all, don't think that. But today, I just wanted to get a video out to you guys and talk about something, have a little bit more of a discussion as opposed to just an informative video. So this will be a little bit more laid back and a little bit more casual with not as much stats and hard facts, but rather more like feelings and opinion and just discussion overall. As most of you guys probably know, and how I got started on my channel was that I was basically doing strictly shotguns.
Friendly drone support is active. Kill confirmed.
A lot of people probably don't like that, a lot of people probably hate me for that, but it is what it is, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm a shotgun fiend through and through, and the reason why, I just love the feeling of a shotgun. There's just something that draws me in about the sound of a pump action and the satisfaction that you get from getting a one-shot kill at a close or medium range. It's just extremely satisfying, and if you've played with them and you've done it, you probably get that same feeling, and it's generally a bit of a rush, more so than using like an SMG or an assault rifle. I just really enjoy shotguns overall. I do understand that shotguns are annoying to die to. Let's not pretend they're not.
Look at this shit.
Got me at the barrel.
Bro. Hey, come on. Bro, get inside, you right?
Friendly UAV online.
Are you fucking
Kill
kidding?
confirmed.
Oh my
UAV
god.
ready for
I
deployment.
hate shotguns. That's so lame.
Yo, Elgu,
Sick.
I got 38 kills without a shotgun.
Sick. Look at that. Good job, Elgo. Elgu. Elgoom. Stupid name.
But then again, most things in these games are annoying to die to. It's not just shotguns, right? If I'm getting killed constantly by a sniper rifle, it's annoying. If I'm getting killed by a guy with an AUG or an MP7, it's annoying. It's just how it is, and that I don't think inherently says that a gun should be nerfed or anything like that, but I do understand the frustrations of getting killed by a gun like a shotgun. And so the purpose of today's video as a discussion video is going to be about the idea that, well, are shotguns too strong in this game, or are they just right, or are they too weak? What are my overall thoughts on that? Because I'm sure a lot of you are curious, as someone who plays with shotguns quite religiously in this game, who I tend to rush with them. I don't really ever stay put in one spot for too long. What do I think about it? And so I wanted to make this a video about that, and you can let me know in the comments below, what do you think on the weapon balancing, specifically shotgun balancing, and let me know what you'd change if there was anything you would change at all. Now, one of the things that inspired me to make this video was because I thought, of course, a lot of you wanted to know what I thought about the shotguns overall. Of course, I did a shotgun ranking video, you can check that out, but overall, like, where are they in terms of balancing? And one of the other reasons that I made this was because I played a game of free-for-all on St. Petrograd, and I did not have a fun time, and that was largely, in fact, due to people sitting in corners, crouching with a 7.25. Now, I'm all for playing however you want, right? As long as you're not exploiting the game, as long as you're not cheating or glitching, play how you want. And, you know, if people get mad at you, whatever, it is what it is. Just enjoy what you're doing. You know, if you're not enjoying it, don't do it. And so I'm all for people sitting in corners and doing that. Yes, it's annoying, but at the same time, I understand that not a lot of people have the reflexes that I do or other people do to be able to battle, or I guess engage in other opponents and actually win these gunfights, which is fine. And so, yeah, they sit around and wait, which I get. I totally understand. And if you want to play like that, by all means, go for it. I'm not hating on you. It's annoying, yeah. It's definitely annoying. But do you, man. Just do you, okay? Now, when I would watch these players in the kill cam, I would watch them and notice that they don't really seem like they know how to maneuver well. They don't really know how to aim very well or anything like that, which of course lends them to sitting around with a 7.25 specifically. It's never any other shotgun. It's always a 7.25, and that's the only shotgun that ever gives me problems, by the way. But it's always that, and they don't really ever seem to know what they're doing, which is kind of frustrating. And I flanked them, you know, a couple times, and I would like stand behind them and they wouldn't move. They would just kind of sit there and inch forward a little bit and watch these doors. Granted, if you're being an idiot and going in the same doorway over and over, you kind of deserve to get killed like that. but at the same time, you are punished, I think, for moving a little bit more than you should be in this game with the heavy footsteps, but that's a different topic of discussion. So I noticed these people just really didn't move much, and they would just kind of wait for you to appear in their crosshairs, and then they would just shoot you and you'd be dead because it's a 7-2-5 and you can't really win that battle. No matter how fast of a sprint out time you have, you're most likely going to lose against someone who's already aiming, especially with a gun like the 7.25. No, I don't want this to turn into just a 7.25 hate video. That's certainly not what it is, even though I could probably make that video, but that's not what it's going to be about. So just overall, the shotguns in this game, I feel like as a whole are balanced very, very well, honestly. The Model 680 is in my opinion, one of the more perfectly balanced shotguns because it's incredibly deadly, but at the same time, you still have to be somewhat accurate, and you can't always just kind of graze them and get the kill. It just does not work like that. And if you've played with the Model 680, you've probably gotten a lot of hit markers, I'm willing to bet. Yeah, up close is going to be really devastating, as it should be, but then there are weird instances where you'll be 5 feet away, 10 feet away, however many feet, and you'll feel like you're in center mass and you'll just graze them. And it's incredibly frustrating when you lose a gunfight like that because it just feels so undeserved. So the Model 680, in my opinion, as a pump action, is spot on. I think Infinity Ward did a great job with balancing this gun. Not only with balancing, but how it functions and looks and sounds. It's just a great gun. I love it. It's my bread and butter. It's what I always use when I'm going for like my gameplays and things like that. So I love the Model 680. I think it's very well balanced overall. One of the things that's tricky about balancing a shotgun in a game like this is you want it to be useful in close quarters, right? You want it to be strong in close quarters, considering that's basically its only working range. It literally, pellets will disappear past a certain distance, so there's no fight there. But you want it to be strong, but not strong enough to where it completely overshadows everything in the game. For instance, SMGs, they still need to have their place in close quarters because they are close quarter weapons. Granted, they're more close to medium. So you want them to be strong, but not completely overpower everything like the 7.25 was doing at launch. And that's one of the reasons why I think the shotguns in this game are balanced so well, is you have guns like the Model 680, which are one and done weapons, and if you miss that one shot, there's a high probability you're going to get killed, turned on, or just destroyed if you miss that first shot, and so you better hope you have time for that second shot. Now, we also have shotguns like the Origin 12, which they aren't as strong, but they fire a lot faster, and so they're a little bit more forgiving in that sense. And I always found that little duality there to be pretty cool with the shotguns, with the fast fire rate and the slow fire rate ones, with the high damage versus low damage. I think that's pretty nice to have in the game. The R90 is also very well balanced. I think maybe pre-patch it was pretty darn strong. I think they maybe over-nerfed it a little bit recently, but I do think it's in a good spot overall. It's mostly a 2-tap monster. You don't want to be really getting many one-shot kills, or rather, you won't be getting as many one-shot kills, but that's okay. It's mostly about that 2-shot kill range, which is very good. With this game, when we have such a low time to kill where you die so fast, you really need shotguns to be a good contender at close range, because then they just get useless because you have guns like the M4, which will just, 3-tap you at close range with a fast rate of fire, and if your shotgun doesn't get the job done, why even bother using it? So I applaud Infinity Ward for doing this right and balancing the shotguns fairly well, albeit at times they can be a little inconsistent, so I applaud that, and I think that they're in a good spot overall. Now, getting into a little bit more of a controversial area of the video, I wanted to point out that I think that the shotguns in this game actually take a little bit more skill than in CODs in previous titles. And the reason why I think that is because of the nature of the meta of this game in particular, of Modern Warfare. Because it's very laid back, right? You have a lot of people that will wait, who will pre-aim, who will sit back with M4s and all these assault rifles and things like that, where rushing or pushing aren't generally advised. You can do it, and I do it quite a bit, with good success, honestly. But at the same time, if you're playing people who understand how this game works, you get very frustrated because you can't really push, and you want to be in areas where you're going to close that gap easily with people, right? I'm not saying to camp in buildings, but you want to be able to close a gap well and quick enough to get that 1-shot kill or that 2-shot kill or whatever without them being able to 3-tap you before you can. Now with games like Black Ops 4, where you had a lot more health and you had a longer time to kill, the gun, like the MOG 12, the shotgun of the game, was very strong because it could still 1-tap you from a good bit of distance, and the enemy still had to pump a lot more rounds into you. I don't think it was overpowered by any means, but I think in the context of that game versus this game, it's much more forgiving to use a shotgun in Black Ops 4 than it is in Modern Warfare. That time to kill difference in the way that the maps are designed just makes it somewhat difficult to be able to push with a shotgun in Modern Warfare, more so than in Black Ops 4. Now, trying not to get off on too many tangents and make this video super duper long, I do want to say that I do think the shotguns in this game are balanced very well, and I always say the exception is the 725. Now, do I think that the 725 is overpowered? It's hard to say. At this point in time, I can't. I feel like I can't say that as much as I want to, as much as I want to throw that gun in the river to blow it off the face of the earth. I don't think I can. I feel like it's in a fairly good spot, but there's something that I feel like still needs to be tweaked about it, because at this point in time, it's the only shotgun that ever really causes any major trouble in lobbies. It's the only shotgun that just completely decimates, more so than the other shotguns, and it's just so much more forgiving that I think there's still something that needs to be tuned with this gun. But at the same time, I don't want it to be nerfed into oblivion. I think maybe what could happen is that they increase the hip spread of the base version of the gun, as well as the other barrels, and really make that widespread noticeable, and then have the aim down sight spread still somewhat tight, like how it is now, so where it rewards that accuracy, but also maybe tone down the damage range just a little bit. Not a lot, just a tad. Because I really feel like the major problem here with that shotgun is it's just still so forgiving for a lot of people, and to just wait and to just hear you coming and then blast you without you being able to react in time. I feel like it's very, very hard to counter that shotgun. And so that's the only shotgun in this game that I have a problem with. And maybe I just have PTSD when it comes to using it, because in the beta, and well, not the beta, I'm sorry, when the game first came out, it was 725s everywhere, and it was like I lost my mind. I was not okay with it. The gun was just driving me nuts. So maybe that's what I'm struggling with still. But at the same time, I still think it might need just a little bit more of an adjustment, and a lot of people might disagree with that. But as a shotgunner, I feel like the 725 is still kind of in a weird place, and it's almost close to being perfect. It's almost there, guys, and that's just my opinion. And with that being said, I want to know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the shotgun balancing in Modern Warfare? Do you think that they're noob cannons designed for noobs who basically anyone can pick one up and just dominate a lobby with? Or do you think they require a little bit more skill given the meta of this game? Like I said, I feel that the shotguns overall are in a perfect spot, with the exception of the 725, which isn't really overpowered, I don't think, but it's teetering on this strange line where I can't really put my finger on if it's too strong. But in my opinion, I feel like it does still need a little bit of a tune down, very slightly, because it's almost there. But that's the only shotgun that I feel is really in a weird spot, which really ever gives people trouble, and I'm sure you agree with me as well. So give the Model 680 a try. I feel that that gun is slept on far too much. I feel the Origin 12 is also devastatingly underrated, and you need to try that gun out as well. I feel like it may have gotten a slight buff in the last update. I feel stronger than it was. It could be placebo, but I might check it out and let you guys know what I find. But with that being said, let me know in the comments below. I hope you all have a wonderful day/night, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!